Hey, what's up, guys? It's Online Money 24/7, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 mistakes that beginners in the stock market make. So, kicking it off with number 1, it is that people think it's too easy. This is something I hear from whether it be friends or family, kind of like, "Oh man, the stock market, I just make a bunch of money." People see YouTube videos, they see stuff in the news about, "Oh, right now is a great time to jump in the stock market. It's so easy." It's really not crazy simple, okay? It's not too difficult to get into, but it's also not super easy. People see these 10% gains on a stock in a day, and it's like, oh, I'm just going to jump in, make a ton of money. Hell yeah. And that's where a lot of people make big mistakes because they see these gains. They think they could just get right into it. The thing is that, everything's hindsight when you see those kind of gains. Oh man, that 10%, that would have been great if I put my money into that stock. Yeah, hindsight's great when you look at it. It's 50-50. You don't know what's going to happen with the stock market. That's why it takes a lot of research to really know if a company is going to have a kind of jump like that. Snapchat recently, in the past couple of weeks, or past week, I think actually, it was about a 10% jump in a day. So using this as an example here in this case, and I'm looking at it like, shit, I wish I had a lot more money in Snapchat. But I didn't know enough about Snapchat to actually know that it was going to have a type of jump like that. If I was super invested and done a ton of research into Snapchat, I probably would have known. But you know what? That's the thing. It's not as easy as it looks. Looking back at it, hindsight looks super easy. Wow, it would have been smart if I put my money there. But yeah, I didn't. So whoop-de-doo, I didn't make the 10% gain that would have been super easy. So that's something to keep in mind when you're getting into the stock market, is it's not as simple and easy as people may make it look out to be, and hindsight is also a thing. So moving on to number 2, it is listening too much to others. So whether it's CNBC or Bloomberg News or Seeking Alpha or Yahoo Finance, there's a bunch of people writing articles about stocks. They may be on one side, biased in one direction or biased in another direction, and maybe it's not even a news outlet. Maybe it's a friend that's like, oh man, I love this stock. Man, you should totally jump onto this stock. And it's like, at the end of the day, when you're reading news articles, you're reading this and that, you need to look at things in your own research. Obviously listen to what other people have to say, but don't take it as fact, because so many people write all these articles and yada yada, and they may be spewing a bunch of garbage sometimes in some of the articles. As you know, the news is not always super accurate. So at the end of the day, when you're doing your stock market investing, listen to yourself. This is your portfolio that you're building, and you need to not listen and sway in giant directions just based on what other people say. If a bunch of people are like, oh man, you should really jump on this stock, take a look into it, but maybe that's not for you. Maybe Snapchat might be great for someone else, but maybe it's not a great investment for me. You have to do your own research and not just go with what other people are always saying, because if you always go with what other people are saying, you might end up biting yourself later down the road. You want to always do your own research and be like, is this a smart investment for me? Because it's your portfolio at the end of the day. And moving on to number 3, so caught in short-term fluctuations. No, God, please, no. At the end of the day, you need to look at it like the stock market is a 50% chance to go up or down every day. For all you know, the stock market trend could just be going down for the day. It has nothing to do with your company, or it may also be going up for the day, and it really doesn't have much to do with your company. Your company may be kind of going in the general direction of the stock market. That's what happens with a lot of stocks. They follow the NASDAQ or the Dow or whatever, and they're going to move up or down. So don't be caught in short-term fluctuations like, oh no, my stock went down 4%. The world's ending. Or same thing for if it goes up 4%. Be like, okay, cool, went up 4%, but then the next day it might go down 2%. So you need to look at things in the long term and don't get caught up too much in the short-term changes that happens within the stock market, because you don't really have too much control, pretty much any control really, what can happen in the short term. You need to look at companies in a long-term criteria. Unless you're a short-term trader, of course, then it would matter for you. But for me, I always look at things in the long term. So don't get caught up too much in the short-term changes that may happen with your stock. Don't freak out and be like, oh God, I lost $10, I lost $20, $30. If you're looking at things in the long run, it'll all catch up and go in the direction that you want, which is to make money. of course. Moving along to number 4, getting emotionally tied to a stock. So if you have a stock that you love, you're like, oh, I love this stock so much, but the company has just gone to shit, don't still stay with the stock. At the end of the day, the whole point of investing in the stock market is to make you money and give you a return on your money. You know, you're investing in companies that you believe in. And so, yeah, you might get a little emotionally tied to a stock, but don't do it to where it's at your detriment. Like, don't be like, oh my God, my stock is the best ever, and the company's actually failing, but because you're blind to the fact that the company's not even doing really well, but you love that stock so much, you love that company so much, that you're willing to lose money. Like, don't ever do that. Don't be willing to lose a bunch of money just based on the fact that you love a stock and the company's going bad, the CEO left or something, some awful stuff's happening, the company's gone to crap. Don't just stick with it. Like, be smart about your investment decisions, and don't get too caught up in like, oh, I love this company so much. At the end of the day, you're looking to make money on your investment, not take care of a little child. Moving along to number 5, probably the biggest one really is macroeconomics and politics. Oh God, Trump is now president. The world's gonna end. Oh, my stocks are horrible right now. I should not invest. Well, really, stocks have been doing pretty well the past year, and they still are trending up in general. So, like, at the end of the day, a lot of the times when the news is all like, oh, the end of the world, like, I try to stay out as much as I can of politics, unless you have some sort of like deep research that you're doing. Most of the time, politics really don't have a big impact on the stock market and companies. Like, it may impact it a little bit depending on what company. If there's a big regulation that came out and that affects your company that you're invested in directly, of course that's going to affect you. But the news of people saying that the world is going to end just because Trump is president, that should not stop you from getting started in investing in the stock market at all, because at the end of the day, it really doesn't have much effect on your life or whatever you're doing with your investments, unless I said before, a specific regulation may have come out which limits a company that you were looking at. But that just takes you to do your own research. But all like I said, all the articles that are like, oh God, the world's going to end, that's not really true. So I would just stay as far away from politics as you can unless it affects you directly. So guys, those are my top 5 mistakes that beginners in the stock market make. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, leave a like. I also have a link down below if you want to sign up for Robinhood. It's the stock market investing app that I use. If you go ahead and sign up, it'll also get you a free stock to get you started. But yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps up this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.